Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What the Frick podcast. If you are watching this episode, I am live from my bedroom. I was just feeling really casual and decided to record this on a whim and just kind of set everything up in here. You know, my roommate's out there doing stuff, and I didn't really feel like going anywhere. So here's my room. For those that get to see it, you're welcome. But today is going to be fun. It is actually my birthday today. If you are listening to this the day it comes out. If not, then I just had my birthday, but whatever. So I wanted to do kind of a fun episode, and it is kind of basic, kind of cliche, but I'm going to do 25 things that I learned by 25. Some of these things are more serious, and some are kind of more funny. So keep that in mind and take them all with a grain of salt. I'm sure there's many things that I missed or just didn't think of. You know what? That's all the fun of it. Maybe I'll do another one next year about 26 things I learned. Who knows? But with that, let's get started. I'm excited to share these with you guys. All right. So the first thing I wrote down was always pick yourself and your friends over a guy. I think this really relates in those first initial meetings when you're kind of first starting to get to know a guy, especially. I think if their schedule is conflicting with yours and you are trying to hang out with your friend or you're trying to do something for yourself and you're rearranging your life and your schedule for him, don't do that. Now, if this is your boyfriend of 2 or 3 years or however long, and you are trying to rearrange things to kind of maybe do something for him or fit something in for him, that is completely different. I am talking about those first initial stages, and that's not something that I condone, and it's something I wish I had known earlier, is to just not rearrange your life for a guy. All right, number 2 is literally just do whatever you want. I have been the person that's sitting at home and I'm like, okay, I should go out or I should go see a friend, when all I want to do is grab a bag of popcorn and watch a movie. And I feel this overarching pressure to get out and do something productive, whether it's working out or seeing someone, when really all I want to do is stay in. Or maybe it's vice versa and I feel like I should stay in and like take care of myself and my body, but really I just want to go out with my friends and have a good time and spend a boatload of money on drinks. I think we should just do whatever we want in the moment, and kind of putting this pressure on yourself to follow the rules of what you feel is good for you that day. I think there's a time and a place for that, but overall, you should just do what you want. You only have one life. Just live it how you want to live it. There's going to be days where, you want to do nothing. Days where you want to be super productive and go out and do a bunch of stuff. And that's great. But like, those days will come and go. So however you're feeling that day, just do how you feel and do what you want in those moments. Number 3 is take photos, take videos, record yourself, take the selfie, have someone hold up your camera while you walk and do a twirl. Make your boyfriend or make your best friend take that photo with you, because why wouldn't you? And who cares who's looking at you? If you want to go make a TikTok on the side of the road, go make a TikTok on the side of the road. Who is going to judge you other than, maybe random people who don't even know you? But literally just do whatever you want. But I think, our generation has really made this more prevalent, and it's something I had to get over is, I don't want them to think that I just want to take photos of myself or videos, but it's like, who cares? Just go out and do it. Those are memories that you can keep for yourself, and if you want to go take that selfie or take that extra photo with your friend or your boyfriend or your family member, then do it. All right, number 4, and this is a weird way of saying this, but get the cake, get the brownie, eat the pasta, eat the cheeseburger. You don't have to make every meal a salad or something super high in protein. If you want to have a day where you just eat whatever you want, or you're out and you are really craving that chocolate cake, just get it. Is it really going to make that big of a difference? Well, maybe if you eat it every single day, but you're at this cool restaurant and you really want that chocolate cake. Is it going to hurt you? No. All right, number 5 is a little bit more serious, I would say, but overall, just be the bigger person. There are so many instances I can think of where I may not still be friends or have communication with some people if I had not been the bigger person and had said, you know what, I'm sorry this happened, or I'm sorry I caused you to feel this way, or whatever the situation was. I think people can be really stubborn and they have a really big ego and they don't always want to put that vulnerable side of them out there, and that can hurt them. And so, unless someone has severely done you wrong and they are a very toxic person that should no longer be a part of your life, there's nothing wrong with being the bigger person and having that person be able to say nothing bad about you because you apologized, or, you took the time to say, hey, let's talk about this and let's figure this out because I want to figure this out with you. Just be the bigger person. All right, number 6, also kind of a serious one, but call your friends, call your family. I've mentioned this in a previous episode, but our time on this earth is limited, and there are people that you don't get to see every day or even on a weekly or monthly basis. And I think it's really important to just take some time, whether for you that's weekly, monthly, or every few months, and make time to call your friends, and especially make time to call your family, especially that extended family, like those grandmas, those grandpas, those aunts and uncles who you probably really don't see that often because, again, time is limited and anything could happen at any moment. And we should just, take an hour out of our very busy day and say, hey, let's chat for 30 minutes or let's chat for an hour. Let's just catch up. And when you look back on your life one day, when maybe those people are no longer here, God forbid, you will be able to say, like, hey, I didn't just let 2 or 3 years go by without speaking to this person. I actually made an effort and let them know that I cared about them. All right, number 7 is travel, 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 and travel. I do not know how there are people out there who do not like to travel. I've met a few. We're not compatible people, but overall, just travel, see the world. I understand that money is tight, but like TikTok says, money will come back. And I'm not saying go out and spend $5,000-$10,000 and figure out how you're gonna pay your rent next week. I'm saying, like, figure out a way to take time out of your life, out of your job, out of your relationships, and go somewhere new. Or maybe you want to go somewhere that's your favorite place in the world. But I think it's so important for us to see new places and go back to places that we've been before that remind us of home or give us some sort of feeling that we don't usually get just from living our normal everyday lives in the city that we live in. All right, number 8, and I have discussed this in my Why You Should Move Away from Your Hometown podcast episode. I'm going to bring it back home here. It is so important to be able to do things by yourself, and for that, I think the life lesson is do not be afraid to do something by yourself just because you have no one to go with or do that thing with. You want to go see that movie? No one else wants to see it? Go see it by yourself. You want to try out a restaurant, but everyone's busy that night and you're totally free? Go try it out. You want to go on a solo trip to Europe by yourself and no one else can get the time off of work or has the finances to pay for it? Go by yourself. We should not let other people's schedules and finances and priorities, take over what we want. If you want to do something that badly, you should be able to go and do it by yourself. And there's no need to feel embarrassed or sad about it. Like, oh, I have no friends. Like, no, you're actually out here doing something all by yourself. That shows so much confidence. And I think this is something that should almost be required, that everyone needs to go and perform these solo activities by themselves at some point in order to feel okay with themselves. Number 9 is pretty basic, I'll say, but overall, just take care of yourself. Wear sunscreen. I mean, for me, I live in Arizona. The sun is always shining here. There were so many times in my life where all I cared about was trying to get tan and putting on like, tanning oil and not really caring if I burned because I would, burn first and tan after. Like, no, put on the sunscreen. If you really want to be tan, get a spray tan or put on like the tanning lotion stuff that makes you darker. But your skin is going to thank you in the long run. And to just go off of that, drinking water, if you're someone that does not believe in drinking water, and I know you're out there, I have a friend that's like this, and all you drink is coffee or soda or alcohol, you need to drink water. Like, I don't understand how there are people who don't like water. I think I drink too much water, if anything. Again, I live somewhere where it's like a requirement to be hydrated. So just, drink water. Try to get, 8 hours of sleep at night. If you're someone that can live off of less sleep or you need more sleep, plan accordingly. But just overall, take care of yourself. You've only got one body. Like, do what you can to make it as sustainable and as successful as it can for you to be happy in life. The 10th thing that I've learned is don't be afraid to say no. And this can be related to so many different parts of life, whether you're a girl saying no to a guy that's coming on to you and you just don't know how to say no. Just say no. If they can't handle it, that's their own problem. Whether it's, again, you saying, I don't feel like going out tonight when all your best friends are, you can say no. Or maybe it's an opportunity that you think could be good for you, but in the long run, you just really don't feel like that's what's best, but everyone's peer pressuring you. You can say no. This kind of goes back to that earlier thing of just do whatever you want. And to piggyback off of that, I think the 11th thing is don't be afraid to say yes. I think there are many times where we get afraid of opportunities that we know could be good for us because we've maybe never done them before, or they're giving us anxiety, or we have no one to do them with, or it just freaks us out. Whether it's, a new job opportunity, or moving to a new city, or maybe going on a date with a guy, or I don't know, trying out a new book, trying to go somewhere new with someone, or it could literally be anything. But there are times where I think it's better to say yes, and if it's not putting you in danger or hurting your health or your psyche, it can be good to put yourself out of your comfort zone and be like, you know what, yeah, I'll do it, I'll try it, what's it gonna hurt? Number 12 is really just a personal thing. My family will laugh at this when they hear it, but this is like my number one life rule. Do not go in the ocean. I joke about this all the time because I don't believe that people belong in the ocean. We are obviously not meant to breathe underwater naturally. You don't see fish or whales or dolphins trying to come up onto land and live in our area and, put something over their noses to try to breathe up here. They don't do it. So, like, why are we trying to do it? I always joke too when like Shark Week comes on, like I have no sympathy for people that get attacked by sharks because you are literally putting yourself into that creature's domain, their environment where they are taught to breed and to feed. And if you're going to put yourself in a situation like that, I just don't feel bad for you. So I personally do not go in the ocean past like my knees. If I can't see my feet, I am not going in because at any moment I could be attacked by a shark or something of that nature, and that would be my fault. So I'm not going to go on this topic as I could go on it for hours, but do not go in the ocean. People do not belong in the ocean. All right, number 13 is back to some, actual things that people might care about, but you don't have to drink alcohol to have fun. And I guess for those that are into drugs as well, you don't have to do drugs to have fun either. You don't need something in your system to make you feel like you're having a good time. And I think this more relates to us when we're in high school and college because so many people are doing it and we feel a lot of pressure. But I, for one, almost think I have a better time when I'm sober, or when I'm maybe just having one or two drinks and I'm not taking, massive amounts of shots or tequila down my throat. You don't always need to feel like you're fitting in with everyone. You don't always need to be going that extra mile of accepting every drink that someone hands you. If you want to just have fun by yourself, you should. And it kind of leads back to what I said earlier. Like, if you can't have fun soberly, then that's probably something you need to think about and figure out why that is, because that's going to lead you down a very dark path in the future. All right, we're almost halfway there, everyone. Stay with me. Number 14 is don't be afraid to do what you want out of fear of embarrassment. For example, I was extremely nervous to start this podcast because I was worried about what people would say about me. I was worried that people from high school or college would see this and make fun of me or, point and laugh. And I had so many of my friends look at me and say, well, who cares? Do you talk to anyone from high school anymore? And I was like, not really. Okay, well, who from college are you worried about? I can't name specifics, but, well, who cares? All of my friends that I actually talk to on a regular basis all told me they were very excited for me, that it was a great idea, and I should just do it already. And now that I'm multiple episodes in, I am so glad I did. And I would be lying if I say I don't still get anxiety every time I release a new episode, worrying about what people will think. But it has been therapeutic, to say the least, to be able to, again, get out of that comfort zone and say yes to myself and do whatever I want to do and just not care what others think. And your real friends and family will support you. And if you have someone that, if I had a friend that would have made fun of me for doing this, then I would know that they're not really my friend. All right, number 15, and this is something I'm still working on, but I've learned that you should make small talk with people that you wouldn't normally talk to. If you're in an elevator and somebody walks in, say hi to them. Why not? If you're waiting at a restaurant and you're, standing next to someone who's also waiting, say hi to them. Be like, hey, where are you from? You're at the airport and your flight's delayed and you are just kind of bored waiting around to see what happens, and there's someone next to you who also looks just as bored. Be like, hey, are you going to this place too? Like, why were you here? What were you doing? You never know who you'll talk to, who you might actually have a connection with. And I don't mean a connection like, oh, you're my new best friend, but I mean, maybe they know someone that knows someone, and that's somewhere you're trying to get in your career. Or maybe they have a really cool tip for the place that they were just at. Like, you never know who you'll meet and what you'll get from those people. And there will be people who will not want to talk to you, and that's on them. I've had conversations before where other people started the conversation with me, and it ended up, leading to something that either helped me or helped that person, and it's something I'm trying to get better at. All right, number 16 kind of relates to what I just said, but introduce yourself to new people. When I was a kid, I was the most shy and timid thing ever, and I still can be at times. But if you're starting a new job or you're in a room with people for an event, let's say, don't be afraid to go up to someone, especially if you want to talk to that person specifically, and say, hey, my name's Shayna. I'm here for this reason. Like, how are you? What do you do? People love to talk about themselves, and having someone come up to them specifically asking questions about them, most people are not going to turn away from you unless they're a jerk. And it shows a level of confidence in, oh, hey, this person can come up to me all by themselves and tell me who they are. And if you're doing this for a job reason or something to further your career, that quality is going to come off really, really well and show this person that you're serious and you mean business. Number 17 is a lot more lighthearted, but I believe in the power of rewatching things again and again and again. And to this, I mean every year, me and my brother rewatch the entire Harry Potter series around Christmas time. We don't know why. They're extremely long, but we just love watching them. I personally love rewatching dystopian films. I just did a Hunger Games rewatch. I'm planning on doing a Divergent series rewatch. You will catch me watching the Twilight series at least twice a year. Basic, I know, but they just make me happy. And then, I think everyone has that comfort show that they'll throw on and rewatch 100 times. For a lot of people, it's The Office or New Girl. Parks and Rec is a big one. For me, I love to rewatch How I Met Your Mother if I'm looking for some comedy or just something to throw in the background. I recently just rewatched Vampire Diaries for the third time, and do not let people make you feel bad for rewatching things. If that brings you comfort and that brings you joy, you do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 18 is find a healthy outlet. And this is kind of broad, but for example, for me, podcasting has become a healthy outlet. Like I said in my beginning episode, this is like therapy for me. Getting my words out, talking about my feelings, things I've done, really just helps center me and bring me down to earth. And for other people, that could be doing an activity like rock climbing or hiking or just working out in general. I know a lot of people enjoy journaling or keeping a diary of some sort. And when I say find a healthy outlet, I don't mean, oh, well, I go out every weekend and I drink. No, I mean doing something that's going to further yourself, whether it's emotionally or physically, in a healthy manner. Number 19 is somewhat existential, but do not try and skip ahead in your life. Just try and be present in the moment you're in. If you think back to 5 or 10 years ago on who you were and what your hopes and dreams were for where you are now, I'm sure a lot of us are either surpassing those expectations or we're kind of right where we thought we would be. And to think that, 5 or 10 years ago, we had these dreams that we're now living. Why are we not celebrating that? Why are we not living in the moment and taking it all in and just, basking in it? I know I do this a lot where I'm always thinking like, well, what's my next move? Like, where will I be? What's my next job? Like, what will I be? Like, why we don't need to worry about this stuff as much. Life will happen. Like, every day we wake up, we make choices, we go about that. So to stress about what's going to happen in the future is extremely counterproductive. And while it's great to have goals and dreams for the next 5 and 10 years and, have that in the back of your mind, you should not be worrying about it every single day and kind of wishing and wasting time away. And that's why it's just so important to live every single day in the present. 20. This is something I had to kind of learn the hard way, like I'm sure a lot of us have. As kids, we are taught to respect our elders, and while that definitely does have some meaning behind it, for this rule specifically, I think you do not have to respect people that do not respect you. You do not have to be kind to people that are not kind to you. And again, this could go back to being the bigger person, like, well, they're mean to me, but I'll just kill them with kindness. Yeah, you can go that route. But if you are dealing with someone, again, who is just toxic or mean or has disrespected you, you don't owe them your kindness and you really don't owe them anything. If it's a coworker, let's say, that you have to see every day, just be professional, but you don't have to go out of your way to talk to them or, be their friend. I just think so many of us let people disrespect us, and I know I have for sure. And I no longer feel like I owe these people my time, my effort, my friendship. Once you kind of cross that line, and I think everyone knows, like, someone does one thing to you, okay, forgive them and move on. But there comes a time and a place where someone's going to cross that boundary with you. And I think it's okay if you decide you don't want to be a part of it anymore. All right, 21. We are nearing the end here, everyone. Just stay with me. So, for this one, I think, how do I phrase this? Okay, ask everyone for advice. If you want to ask 17 different people their advice on something, do it. If you want to ask just one or two people their advice on something, do it. I, for one, like to ask like 12 people their advice on a topic because I like getting different perspectives from different type of friends of mine to see how they would go about it. But the caveat to this is yes, you can ask for people's advice, but in the end, you have to do whatever you think is best for you. Whether that's, you know what, I'm going to send that risky text, or you know what, I kind of want to take that job, or you know, I think I'm going to step away from this thing I've been doing for a long time that a lot of people want me to do. In the end, you have to do what's best for yourself. And while I think it's great to be able to share your issues or your successes with others, in the end, you have to take your own advice. Number 22 is be straightforward with people. I think this goes more so, at least for me, with dating. People are so like, everyone's trying to play a game, and it's so annoying to me that I have become the most straightforward person. The last guy I dated said, I've never met someone that's just so, he used the word straightforward about what they want, what they don't want. And I said, yeah, I'm not here to mess around. Like, time is valuable. Either we're going to work or we're not. And so I think this can be used again with dating. It can be used with work. It can be used in a lot of different situations. But I think just being straightforward with people and telling people exactly what you want or do not want is only going to help you in the end. And you're not, beating around the bush. You're not trying to make others happy. You're just telling people exactly what you need or maybe what they need. And that's going to, in the end, just be very helpful. Number 23 is something I'm still learning, but I think I realized that I'm in the process of learning it. And that is that some people will come into your life like a book. Some people are going to be there for the entire book, for your entire life. From the minute you meet them, they will stick with you through literally your entire life. There are some people who are going to only be chapters. They might come into your life for a few months, a year, a few years, maybe just a few weeks. And it's hard sometimes to decipher the people who might be long chapters in your life from the people who are the entire book, if you're keeping up with my analogy here. And I have had people come into my life who I thought would be there for the entire book and, make it to the epilogue. And they ended up just being long chapters. And I was really upset about that and didn't understand why this person could not keep themselves in my life for a long time, whether it was a friendship or a relationship of some sort. And I've just come to realize that not everyone's meant to stick around for your whole life. Some people are put there to help you in that moment and to be a friend to you in that time and place in your life, and that's okay. You're going to meet more people who will just be chapters, and you probably will meet a few more people who will be the entire book. So just, I don't know how to end that, but just be okay with it and be okay with knowing that some people might just be chapters. Number 24 is it is okay if you don't know what you want to do with your life or what you want your next step to be. I always really prided myself in high school and even middle school because I loved that I knew what I wanted to do in my career. While there are so many kids who get all the way to the end of high school and even college and still don't know what they want. And I never understood how people just didn't know what they wanted. And recently I realized that I'm kind of becoming that person that doesn't necessarily know what their next step will be, whether that's career-wise or friendship-wise or just what I want to do next year with my life. I think it's okay that I don't quite know yet. I'm pretty content with where I currently am, and that kind of goes back to just live in the moment and be in the present. But if you're someone that's still kind of trying to figure out their next move, whether that's should you move in with someone that's, your boyfriend or girlfriend, or should I change careers? Should I change jobs? Should I keep going down this path? I think you'll figure it out one step at a time. And again, just it's okay if you don't have your entire life planned out. I, for one, am, I guess, now 26, sadly. But it's okay. And I think a lot of us put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have these ideas and these notions, and it's unnecessary pressure. And again, it goes back to living in the moment. All right, number 25. We made it. Woo! All right, this goes out to mostly my ladies, but ladies, you can always find someone, a guy particularly. You can always find a guy to buy you a drink. I don't care where you are, what you're doing. You're at a bar, you're at a club, you're at a restaurant. Like, you can always find a guy to buy you a drink. And I'm going to end it with that. Yes, so that was 25 things that I have learned by the age of 25. I'm sure there's a million more things I've learned that I could throw in there, but I wanted to limit it to 25 because I seem to go on these tangents quite frequently, which I apologize for, but also sorry, not sorry. Thank you all for listening. I am currently, if you are listening to this, celebrating my birthday. I do not really have plans, at least as of right now. I'm recording this about 10 days before my birthday. So I'm still currently trying to figure out what I want to actually do. I'm kind of just chilling. Last year when I turned 25, I did a huge thing in Vegas with my friends, and this year I kind of want to just be a little bit more to myself and maybe just go to the spa or just do something for myself by myself, because I can do things by myself, which was one of the things that I discussed. So with that, I am going to leave it there. Next week's episode's going to be fun. I am bringing on one of my really good friends to discuss some of her crazy stories, and if you thought mine were wild, you are in for a surprise. So that will be fun, trying to bring on some more guests for you guys. And as always, if you do not already follow us on TikTok and Instagram, it is at What the Frick Podcast, and I am going to go off, and hopefully none of these come across as upsetting to anyone, especially if you're someone that enjoys going in the ocean. If that's you, good for you. You keep doing you, but do not expect any pity from me if a shark eats you. And with that, I am going to end it there. See you guys next week.